Well, in late 2009, I was thinking about quilt stores in the local area and noticing that some of the local stores didn't really or weren't able to keep a full array of thread, which sounds kind of silly, but when you're a quilter, if you only have 3 or 4 different colors of thread, it makes it a little less easy to pick out threads to go with your quilt. So I was complaining about that, and my partner suggested, well, maybe you should start your own quilt store. So I did. I literally got the idea late December of '09, and by the middle of January, I had bought a building and was going to launch a quilt store, and launched it on my mother's birthday in May of 2010. The original house was only about 1,100 or 1,200 square feet, and I found every way I could to increase the number of shelves and the amount of shelving, and going 2 high and then 3 high, and I ultimately looked into expanding the little house that I started in, which was very, very charming, but there just was no way to do it. And this building was occupied, but I found out it was actually listed for sale, and it needed a lot of work. It still had concrete floors, so it was a way for me to not only have more room for fabric, but I was able to incorporate both businesses under one roof. At the time, I had 2 houses. One had the quilt store and one had the long arm business. So I got to bring them under one roof. The quilt shop caters to the art quilter that's looking for vibrant fabrics to make quilts that maybe won't necessarily go on a bed, they might go on a wall. So the inspiration was to have the best selection of the fabrics I love the best, which are the batiks. The long arm side is designed to help people finish their quilt. So if you make a quilt top, ultimately you need to do what's called the quilting, where you secure the layers together in some design. It's very difficult to do on a traditional machine, so the long arms allow you to do it with them on large rollers, but the cost point of a long arm machine is prohibitive for the average quilter. I was able to start the business where you could either rent time on the machines or have us do the quilting. We offer a number of classes. We were able, when we expanded this building, to add a new, larger classroom. And the classroom is designed to have everything you'd need, a nice working surface, so every table is actually very large. The walls are design walls where you can pin things up and step back and arrange things, ironing and cutting stations, and plenty of lighting. So we offer classes on just basic beginning quilting that I teach. It runs over 2 Saturdays, and you get to make your own quilt. It's generally a wall hanging size, but you pick your own fabric. We also run classes on specific quilt projects or patterns, some of which are taught by employees, where we have a sample of the quilt and people sign up for it. We also do a sit and sew at least once a month on a Friday night, where people come, bring their machines, and set up from like 5 till 10 at night, and we order some pizza. It's funny, quilting, when people think about quilting, they think about more traditional, maybe, grandma quilts that are on beds or handed down from generation to generation, whereas this type of quilting is more artistic. I think it draws the art quilter. And the reality of quilting is that it is more of both a right brain and a left brain thing, where you get to pick out color and be artistic, but you also get to be extremely precise. The cutting and the piecing and the pressing is all a very precise endeavor. So it really does allow me to bring both sides together, and it's very relaxing as a hobby to do quilting as a way to kind of, relax and you finish a nice project.
And here's something else to know. The Quilter Studio also offers a cozy quilt retreat right in the heart of historic downtown Loveland. The retreat sleeps up to 12, making it the perfect spot for your next group getaway. You can check availability and book your stay at theretreatloveland.com. And don't forget to stop by the Quilter Studio of Loveland while you're in town. They're located at 535 West Loveland Avenue. Find all the details at quilterstudioofloveland.com.